Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to sift through the noise and really pull out those insights that matter just for you.
That's right.
Today, we're diving into something pretty fascinating, a paradox from a source called soulful connection in a world of choice.
Hmm.
And it really makes you think, we live in a time with endless options, right? Especially for relationships,
Yeah.
connecting with people.
Yeah, supposedly.
So why do so many of us feel just profoundly alone, deeply alone?
It's a huge question.
And even if you are in a relationship, why is there sometimes still that
Yeah.
emptiness, that feeling like you're searching for something more?
It's a feeling that, well, it hits home for a lot of people, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That sense of being disconnected, even when you're surrounded by ways to link up.
Right.
And what's really interesting about this source is that it suggests a reason for this loneliness that's, well, surprisingly simple on one level, but also really deep.
Yeah.
So our mission today in this deep dive is to unpack that perspective. And really importantly, look at the path they propose for finding what they call genuine, soulful connection.
Okay, let's get into it. So this modern predicament, the authors argue that we, modern people, we've kind of narrowed how we see life,
Yeah,
especially relationships. Like we're filtering everything through just two things, what they call the mind and the body.
That's the core argument. And when they talk about the mind, the source points out how we tend to make these big lists, right? Checklists for partners.
Oh, yeah, the criteria.
All the criteria. We're always evaluating, analyzing, calculating if someone fits. Almost like running an algorithm in our heads, which, raises a pretty big question, doesn't it? What are the limits of doing that? Of being purely analytical, almost transactional, when you're looking for real connection?
Can you actually calculate your way to love? It sounds unlikely.
The authors definitely suggest, no, that's not how it works.
And then the other prism is the body. The source says, okay, physical intimacy is part of it, sure, but that deep closeness, that unshakable bond most of us really want. Yeah. It seems that remains elusive if you're just focusing on the physical side.
Exactly. It's like you're ticking boxes with your mind,
Yeah.
engaging physically with the body, but you're still missing like a fundamental piece. You're reaching for something, but you can't quite grasp it.
So where does that leave us? What's the core disconnect, according to this source?
Well, this is where it gets really foundational. It starts with this core belief they put forward. Our Creator made souls in pairs.
Okay, that's a big statement.
It is. And the implication is huge.
Yeah.
Because we're living mostly through that analytical mind and the physical body.
Right.
We've basically lost the ability to see or recognize our destined soulmate with our soul.
With our soul, like a different way of perceiving.
Exactly. It's like a sense, a capacity for knowing that's just gone dormant. We're not using it.
Yeah. Wow. Our Creator made souls in pairs. Is that meant metaphorically, or are they saying this is like a literal truth in their view?
Within their framework, they present it as a fundamental truth,
Mm-hmm.
not just, a nice idea or a metaphor.
And the consequence of not being able to see with the soul is?
Well, it's pretty stark.
Yeah.
The source says we end up wandering through life like blind people.
Like blind people.
Yeah, searching and searching, but without understanding why we feel so lost, why we can't find what we're looking for.
Because the thing we need to see with is closed.
Precisely. Because the eyes of the soul have long been closed. Now, lots of traditions talk about the soul, right?
Sure.
But what seems unique here is this idea of a literal but dormant sensory organ for connection, these eyes of the soul.
And our modern way of thinking and living has basically shut them.
That's the argument. We're looking with the wrong tools, the wrong senses. We're relying on analysis and physical sensation when we need soul-level perception.
Okay, so if the problem is these closed eyes of the soul, what's the fix? The solution sounds simple conceptually, but maybe hard to actually do.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Simple concept, demanding inner work. They lay out 3 key actions.
What are they?
First, turn on the soul.
Turn it on. Okay.
Second, learn to see and feel with the heart.
See and feel with the heart,
Yeah.
distinct from the mind's analysis.
Exactly. And third, stop trusting your fate solely to the mind, which is limited by its narrow function of analysis.
Yeah.
Basically, stop letting the analytical mind drive the whole process.
Those sound like pretty profound shifts internally, But how do you do that? How does the source suggest we actually practically turn on the soul or learn to see with the heart?
Yeah, that's the crucial question.
Are there like exercises or specific changes in how we think? What does that inner work look like day to day? For you listening, how do you go from just analyzing people to heartfelt seeing?
Right. Well, the authors don't really give you like a five-step program or a recipe. It's framed more as a deep internal shift, almost a spiritual practice.
Okay.
So turning on the soul, that seems to mean consciously stepping back from that constant mental chatter, the analysis, and also from just chasing physical gratification.
Disengaging from those two prisms.
Yes. And then learning to see and feel with the heart. That's described more like cultivating intuition, empathy, listening to a different kind of inner knowing.
Not the logical mind.
Not the logical mind. It's about recognizing resonance, that quiet feeling of rightness, rather than checking off boxes on a list.
So it's like shifting from trying to figure out love or connection to just feeling it, letting it emerge from somewhere deeper.
That seems to be the essence of it, allowing connection to happen on a level beyond conscious thought and calculation.
And the promise, if someone manages this shift, connects with their soul, what changes? What's the transformation look like in terms of relationships?
Well, they say it's profound. Only when you make that shift do you actually start to see those people who are destined for us in life.
See them with the soul's eyes.
Exactly. And it's at that point, they claim, that true intimacy, family, and deep fulfilling relationships become possible.
The whole game changes.
The whole landscape changes, yeah. Because you're not using those limited filters of just mind and body anymore. You're perceiving from like a place of spiritual alignment. You recognize the soul match.
Wow. And conversely, there's a pretty serious warning, isn't there, about what happens if we don't make this connection, if we stay stuck in the mind-body approach?
There is. It's quite stark. They suggest the consequences go beyond just individual loneliness.
What do you say?
The authors state that if this ability for soulful connection stays dormant, stays switched off, the institution of the family is destroyed and a person loses himself.
Loses himself and the family unit destroyed. That's heavy.
It is. They're linking the breakdown of, the core social unit and even individual integrity directly back to this inability to connect soul to soul.
And when they mention restoring one's integrity, what do they mean by integrity here? It sounds like more than just honesty.
Oh, definitely. It seems to mean returning to wholeness.
Yeah.
Becoming whole again, reintegrating that dormant part of ourselves, the soul's capacity for deep connection so we're not fragmented, relying only on mind and body.
So the authors, Andre and Amy Coben, they say they found this path themselves, and they're offering to guide others.
That's what they state, yes.
Yeah.
And they're very upfront. This is not easy.
Right.
But they seem convinced it's the only way to, as they put it, restore one's integrity. It really is a call to a much deeper, more intentional way of living and relating.
So let's circle back then. We started with this paradox.
Wow.
In a world absolutely brimming with choices, endless ways to connect online and offline, why this deep, pervasive loneliness?
Yeah.
It seems the answer, according to the source, lies much deeper than the number of choices we have.
It really does. And it leaves us with a pretty provocative thought, doesn't it? If true connection really depends on seeing with the heart and actively turning on the soul, what does that actually imply about how our society currently approaches finding love, finding belonging, all the apps, the dating advice? Is it missing the mark?
And maybe the question for you listening right now is, how might you start to cultivate this deeper way of seeing, this soul-level sensing in your own life? What small step could you take away from pure analysis towards perhaps just feeling?